happening?
My bag.
Yep.
Hold up.
And that's why they never arrested me, because he said it was his bag.
That bag had snow and all the fireworks in it.
Hell no.
The guy took the blame for my bag.
Yep.
And that's why they never...
The guy took the blame for my bag, she said. That is literally physical and on live proof of you admitting doing a crime. You just confessed something where someone is supposed to get over 15 years in prison. Where's Buddy at? She's with her family right now. So I don't know about that one.
I did ask like Bree and Violet. I was like, if y'all take the blame for my bag, will y'all please? I'll bail y'all out. They were like, no, I got custody battles going on. No, I got custody battles going on. I said, well, I have an open CPS case on me. And I was like, if I go to jail, like I can literally lose my kids.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I have a custody battle going on, but look at them now. And that's how I knew they were not true friends. And ever since that day is whenever I said I'm cutting ties with them.
Yeah.
Santos has officially exposed Ash for her involvement in a crime with an unforgivable twist, leaving a group of barely adult men to take the fall for her actions. For the longest time, the public was skeptical of Santos' accusations due to his unresolved history with Ash. But as shocking as it sounds, Santos was right all along. And in an unexpected turn of events, Ash herself has admitted it. Let's dive into the mess, shall we? The situation in San Antonio did not just spiral out of control. It painted Ash in a troubling light. During the confrontation at the cafe, it was clear that things went south quickly, with Ash at the center of the altercation. While the details about the argument with the lady remain unclear, it is evident that Ash escalated the situation. The group of barely legal men, including Desiree Zatush, Raimundo Constantino, and others, quickly jumped to Ash's defense, even though it was Ash who was involved in the initial confrontation.
It's what I do on this bitch. Oh my God! Wait. Sing it.
Yeah.
You want to know how it smells? That's right.
This set the stage for a full-blown altercation. The police arrived, and while they arrested the group, Ash managed to avoid any consequences, especially walking away scot-free. It was the kind of situation that sparked public outrage. Why was she not held accountable when it was clear she played a significant role in the events? The aftermath only made things worse. D. Kane, a member of the group who had recently been released on parole, was found to be in possession of illegal weapons, specifically a firearm and a switch, while on the ankle monitor. His involvement in the incident took a darker turn as the severity of his charges became public knowledge. D. Kane's serious legal troubles led many to scrutinize Ash's role. The fact that she walked away unscathed while others faced harsh consequences raised eyebrows.
Why don't they arrest her? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think she's getting arrested. Deacon is. He's in handcuffs over here. But for them, I don't know for sure if there's like a, what's it called? Like if there's a reason, if they have probable cause or not.
Is that right, D-Kane?
Hey, she got you in trouble, Kane.
She got you in trouble, D-Kane? She ain't no good.
Yeah, she was moving.
Bye, D-Kane. She ain't no good news, D-Kane. It's all right. There goes D-Kane, guys. All for that smelly new-new. Smelly new-new.
Critics began to question if Ash had manipulated the situation using her influence to get out of trouble while leaving her friends to face the fallout. Ash's attempt to portray herself as a savior in the situation, claiming she bailed out all the boys, including D. Kane, fell flat. The silence from D. Kane on social media after his release spoke volumes about the reality of the situation. His charges were so severe to be easily brushed off, making Ash's claims appear questionable at best. Her insistence that everything had been resolved was likely an attempt to avoid taking any responsibility for her own role in the mess, especially when the legal ramifications for D. Kane were so serious. As the dust settled on the San Antonio incident, Santos came forward with his bombshell revelations, adding another layer of complexity to the already convoluted situation. Santos, who had a history with Ash, did not hold back. back when it came to exposing her. He released a clip that appeared to be damning evidence, with Ash admitting she wasn't arrested because one of the boys, likely one of her group members, took the blame for her bag. The bag, according to Santos, contained illegal substances, a detail that completely shifted the narrative.
You put my bag.
Yep.
Hold up.
And that's why they never arrested me. Because he said it was his bag.
That bag had snow and all the fireworks in it.
Hell no.
The guy took the blame for my bag.
Yep.
And that's why they never...
The guy took the blame for my bag, she said. That is literally physical and on life proof of you admitting doing a crime. You just confessed something where someone is supposed to get over 15 years in prison. Where's Bunny at? She's with her family right now. So I don't know about that one.
Ash's casual mention of snow and fireworks further confirmed the nature of what was inside the bag, essentially admitting the possession of illegal items. This was the moment that Santos had been waiting for, a confession from Ash herself that she had attempted to manipulate the situation to her advantage. Initially, many dismissed Santos's claims, citing the ongoing feud between him and Ash. Given their history, some speculated that Santos might have been embellishing the truth or seeking revenge. However, as more evidence surfaced, it became impossible to deny that Ash had indeed incriminated herself. The turning point came when Ash went live again, essentially confirming what Santos had said. She admitted to carrying the illegal items and tried to justify her actions by claiming she had asked others to take the fall for her, with promises of bail in return.
I did ask like Bree and Violet. I was like, if y'all take the blame for my bag, will y'all please, I'll bail y'all out. They were like, no, I got custody battles going on. No, I got custody battles going on. I said, well, I have an open CPS case on me. And I was like, if I go to jail, like I can literally lose my kids.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I have a custody battle going on. But look at them now. And that's how I knew they were not true friends. And ever since that day is whenever I said I'm cutting ties with them.
Yeah.
Because I asked them to do me one favor and they didn't do it, which was fine because it's not their fault. But still, you would have thought like, okay, I have an open CPS case. Y'all know I had an open CPS case. Thank God I don't know more, but it's just the fact that they didn't even have no custody battle open. Like, that's the thing.
Wow. This confession turned the tide in the public's perception of Ash. Santos had successfully exposed her own words, and it was clear that Ash was now directly responsible for the crime. Santos had been vindicated, and the very admission that Ash had made during her live stream revealed the extent of her deep desperation. It was no longer just a claim from Santos. It was Ash herself openly confessing to her wrongdoing. The live stream left little room for doubt, and the public response shifted from skepticism to an overwhelming sense of disbelief over Ash's actions. Ash's behavior in her livestream was a mixture of desperation and manipulation, and it is hard to ignore how she attempted to shift the blame onto others. Ash explained that she had asked her friends Bree and Valet to take responsibility for her bag. She made it clear that in exchange for taking the fall, she would bail them out. The bag in question, of course, was the same one that had raised questions earlier containing illegal substances. Ash's reasoning behind her request was that she had ongoing CPS cases and she feared that going to jail would mean losing her children. She seemed to be using her parental situation as a justification for asking others to take the blame, hoping to leverage their sense of loyalty and guilt. But there are significant issues with Ash's logic. First, why would Ash put herself in such a compromising position, knowing the potential consequences of getting caught with illegal items, especially when she had the added stress of CPS monitoring her? Her willingness to let others take the blame shows a startling lack of accountability for her own actions. It was clear that she wasn't concerned with the consequences for others, only for herself. Ash's desperation to avoid jail seemed to outweigh her concern for her friend's well-being. Even though it was her own criminal behavior that had led to the situation in the first place. The real question here is why Ash thought it was acceptable to manipulate her friends into taking the fall. Ash's comparison of her situation to theirs, emphasizing the potential loss of her children, was a clear attempt to guilt-trip them into agreeing to her plan. However, her friends' refusal to take the blame was a rare moment of clarity. They knew they shouldn't suffer the consequences for Ash's action. When Bria and Valet stood their ground and refused, Ash's response was to cut them out of her life, accusing them of not being true friends. This reveals a fundamental issue with Ash's approach to relationships. She was willing to sacrifice anyone, even her friends, to protect herself. This wasn't a simple mistake. It was a pattern of behavior rooted in manipulation and self-preservation at any cost. Ash's decision to incriminate herself on a live stream was not only a reckless move, but also a glaring example of her failure to understand the severity of her action. The admission of her involvement with illegal substances was stunning on its own, but what made it even worse was the manner in which she placed the blame on her friends for not coming to her rescue. In a strange attempt to justify her actions, Ash tried to paint herself as a victim, claiming her friends owed her support. However, this was a severe miscalculation of her social circle's loyalty. As we previously noted, Bria and Valet were quick to reject their attempts to manipulate them into taking the fall for her, signaling a rare moment of clarity and morality on their part.
So that is totally normal there.
So why did the police get involved? I missed that part.
Basically, there's nothing that we did to have the police called on us. It's that people found out where we were. Mama, hey, thank you. And they got us swatted, basically, to kind of like...
But then why did somebody get arrested? Wait, a few people were arrested, right?
Yeah, so basically, we went out to eat, and the first restaurant we went to refused us service. Like, straight off the
right to do that.
Sure, no problem. We were like, okay, whatever, we left. So we went across. As soon as we sat down at the second one, like, people were already outside the restaurant waiting for us. So they already, like, people were already there before we even walked in. So we finally got past everybody, and then we sit down, and then we just get surrounded by cops, and they just search us. And that's how everything started. And they did find on people, but they were all registered legal. So there was nothing, the problem was not that they had them on them, because they're allowed to have them. The problem was that somebody called and said, these people are threatening other people with this, that. They need to be checked out. That's why we got swatted or whatever, basically. Yeah.
This wasn't just a momentary lapse in judgment. Ash's need to constantly manipulate those around her and use them for her own benefit had become evident over time, both in the San Antonio incident and in her behavior toward her friend. Her claim that they were no longer true friends after they refused to take responsibility for her bag only amplified the self-serving nature of her behavior. She essentially expected them to jeopardize their lives to protect her from the consequences of her own criminal action. Moreover, Ash's justification for carrying illegal substances, her fear of losing her children to CPS, was troubling. While it might seem like a reasonable concern for a mother, it does not excuse the criminal behavior she engaged in. Instead of taking responsibility for her actions, Ash opted to use her children as emotional leverage to manipulate her friends, further compounding her lack of accountability. The fact that she was in a situation that could have led to serious legal trouble only highlighted her disregard for the law, as well as her tendency to exploit others to get what she wants. Now, the toxic dynamic between Ash and Santos began long before their fallout over the San Antonio incident. As previously mentioned, Ash's advances on Santos, initially sparked by her daughter's crush on him, evolved into something much more manipulative. Despite being much older than Santos, Ash did not hesitate to flirt with him, playing a game that blurred the lines of appropriateness. Santos, likely seeing an opportunity for attention and clout, played along. However, the situation quickly spiraled, with Ash using their relationship to fuel her own agenda. Ash's attempt to involve Santos in her personal life became even more bizarre when she invited him to see her nunu on offer that seemed to cross a line in their interactions. Despite the significant age difference between the two, Ash continued to portray the relationship as something genuine, calling Santos her boyfriend and attempting to make it appear as though they were a couple. This was an unsettling display of how Ash used her platform to manipulate the situation for her own benefit. She seemed to thrive on the attention and drama that came with the relationship, all while taking advantage of Santos's desire for visibility and notoriety. However, as Santos became more involved, it was clear that he too played a role in the toxic dynamic. His own motivations were not entirely pure. He was likely looking for the fame and recognition that came with engaging in public battles with Ash. His willingness to play along with her advances, despite the obvious discomfort of the situation, reflected his own need for clout, making him complicit in the messy relationship they shared. Santos used the relationship to gain exposure, and Ash, in turn, used it to fit her desire for validation. What appeared to be a mutual back-and-forth battle between the two was in reality, but the truth remains that he too played a part in the toxic cycle of manipulation. What do you think about Ash's reckless crime confession? Do you believe she'll face consequences for her actions, or is this just another viral stunt? And as for Santos, do you think he's telling the truth about nothing happening between them, or is he just embarrassed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe to stay updated on the drama that's sure to come from the mess that is Ash Trevino. Like and subscribe to stay updated on the drama that's sure to come from the mess that is Ash Trevino.